Hello everyone, Brian and Rachel here of GouletPens.com, and we have kind of a tough video to share with you today because we are retiring the ink sample subscription program. And I know that's going to seem really kind of sudden and surprising to some of you, but we have this video and we want it to be very transparent and explain exactly why we are choosing to do that. So before we get into that, let's talk a little bit about the history of Ink Drop, shall we?
Yes, it's been 5.5 years. I can't believe it's been that long. It started in September of 2010. It came out as an idea from FPN, the Fountain Pen Network. There were some folks who were saying, hey, wouldn't it be cool if there was a, sample of the month club or something? We're like, we'll do it.
Like, we can do it, yeah.
We'd been in business for about 10 months. We had no employees. We had no money. We weren't drawing a paycheck at all. We weren't paying ourselves.
Technically, we weren't even employees. We were volunteering at the time.
We had like 180 ink colors at the time. We didn't have Noodlers. We didn't have Lamy or Pilot. Like a lot of the big brands we have now, we didn't even have back then.
It's true.
But it was a great opportunity, a great way to get our name out there, to build rapport with the community, to offer ink samples. The concept was really cool. It's 5 samples every month that are a surprise in your mailbox. It's a great way to try brands and colors you might not have experienced otherwise. So
yeah, and we honestly had no idea when we first started it that would be anything that would continue really ongoing.
So we started out our very first month, September 2010, our back to school is our theme, with 79 members, and that was insane. We were up like till 1 a.m. working on it. The next month was like 114 members. I think 6 months in we had like 300 members, and now today we have like, it varies between 1,100 and 1,300 members per month. Which
we haven't shared very openly before, but this is the first time we're saying how big the program really is, which seems really impressive, but we're going to get to more of that here in a second.
We've done a lot of cool things with Ink Drop over the years. We've tried some contests, so like people submitting their artwork, things they've done with the colors, and people voting. And
we've done a lot of features on the blog of other people's artwork, which has really been amazing. That's honestly been one of the best parts about the program.
5 little samples of ink and what people have been able to do with it. It's amazing. We've used Ink Drop to do some brand reveals. So when we first carried Roaring Klinger, or the Edelstein inks came out for the first time, Scrabble Workshop,
which is now discontinued, but still.
It was an opportunity to let our members try something new and to get brand exposure out there to people who might not want to try it on their own because they haven't heard a lot about it.
So a lot of that first couple of years was really great for that purpose.
We had some really fun themes too, like we did Easter egg hunt, so we didn't label any of the inks. They were 5, just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and people had to kind of guess what the colors were, which is pretty cool. Spring cleaning, so we took our 5 worst selling inks and put them in a drop, and it was
with a pen flush so that you could flush it out if you didn't like the ink at all. That was actually one of our more popular themes.
Flashlight tag was really cool. It was all like glow in the dark highlighter inks, including a black light in there too. So
that's right. So we tried to do some fun stuff. A lot of that was earlier on, back when we had a lot more options, but 1,100, 1,300 members, just think about how much ink it actually takes to fulfill that. Honestly, the biggest constraint that we've had recently has been just getting the ink at all. We've had to plan out the themes 6 to 9 months in advance just so that we can let our distributors know, to let the manufacturers know to make enough to be able to use in the program, because a lot of the inks we've used have just not been that popular. We might use what they normally would sell in 6 months in one drop.
We try not to repeat colors and things like that. So it's been difficult.
It's been a challenge.
As time's gone on, we've always, even from the beginning, called it a labor of love. It has been so much work. And recently, we've had like a thematic goal for our company called Be Intentional. Really looking at, okay, we've done these things for 5 years. Is this the best way to do it? Like making sure that as we've grown, that we're being smart with our time, with our money. And Ink Drop was one of those things that came up to say, we've been doing this for a while. Does this still make sense? Does this still work? Because it's been...
Is it still valuable to people? That was honestly a huge consideration for us. Like, even if it's not a big money maker, is it helping people to discover us? Is it, building brand equity? Is it, making people value their Goulet experience more? And, as much positive feedback as we know we've gotten about it, and as many of you have really loved the program, still, just looking at all factors involved, it hasn't been the way that we feel that we can best serve our customers.
It hasn't grown at the same pace with the rest of our business, and the amount of labor it's taken, it's starting to hurt our ability to get orders out the door and to best serve the other 90-some% of the orders and customers that we're serving. So we looked at all our time, we looked at our costs gosh, shipping costs have gone up, ink, our labor, everything.
It's amazing.
We
And we haven't raised the price either. The price has been $10 domestically. We had to raise international because the shipping costs have gone up so dramatically.
Sorry.
And then the time involved, I mean, I think the time is over 100 hours a month we're having to spend collectively as a company just to process ink drop.
So we did the math, and we came to the really sad conclusion that it's not profitable. In fact, it's a loss for us. And, you know, if it were really growing and, you know, that sort of thing, it might be justifiable. But we said, can we really afford to spend this much time and labor on something that
even that? I mean, we looked at it, and
healthy.
we're losing money per ink drop too, because there's fixed cost with processing the order for a subscription program like this. The more members we have, the worse it's going to be for us, because we're literally losing on every order. So
we looked at, you know, what if we raised the price, you know, that sort of thing. But I did all the math, and it would have to be at least $20 a month, and
to be comfortable, you know, to allow for future,
you
know, cost rising and stuff.
And I don't think that's fair to you, the customer, when you can buy 5 other samples, random or your selection, shipped for way less than that. It didn't feel honest to us to work as a subscription product. So we came to the conclusion that it's time to say goodbye to Ink Drop.
Yeah, we really felt it just run its course. You know, it got us on the map. It was a great program. A lot of people who have wanted to be in it have been in it and enjoyed it, and there's a lot of membership turnover because people are in it for a while, they get drowning in samples and they cancel, and that's a lot of time too, because it's a very manual process for canceling and changing the membership on it. So
let's cover some logistics.
Yeah.
Scroll on
Absolutely, yeah. Sorry, we have some notes here. Sorry, we usually try not to use notes, but a lot of logistics to cover on this particular video.
So April 2016 is our last month of Ink Drop. It's a really good theme, so I feel really good about going out on a nice theme, forest foray. It's our 67th drop, so you know, maybe you've been with us since the beginning.
Amazing.
That's 67 shipments.
67 months of Ink Drop. That's incredible.
So this will be our last month. You can still sign up all month long. We'll be doing our theme reveals out, so you can see what the colors are. All current members will be canceled at the end of the month, so you'll get an automatic email saying your membership's been canceled. But feel free for the rest of the month to use your member discounts if you want. Last chance to get that 10% off of the bottles featured or some of the other products we have in there. We were not replacing it with another subscription. The costs of having a subscription just at this point don't make sense. We are looking to have some other products and other things that kind of take some of the elements of Ink Drop that you love, but you can still do as part of a regular order. So some themed ink sample packages. So putting together several samples around a name or around a theme, putting those together as part of just a regular product you can get anytime, combined with your other things. If you like the element of surprise, that's one thing that's fun about Ink Drop too. We have a Surprise Me random ink sample. You can buy it as a standalone, or you could buy it as a discounted package set. But if you want to, walk on the wild side and try a brand or a color you haven't experienced before, it's a great way to do that.
It's actually our most popular ink sample is the random one already. So even with Ink Drop, it's still very popular. People like to be surprised.
Regular ink samples are still great for us. We're still making, it's not like, gangbusters, but we're making enough money where it makes sense to continue. We don't have to.
Believe me, that was one of the first things we thought is like, oh my gosh, when it really started to come to the realization, like Ink Drop just really isn't a profitable thing for us to continue. Like, what about regular ink samples? Are we in trouble there?
No, we're still
I don't want you to freak out. Regular ink samples are here to stay, and that's not going to have to change.
And
it's just
the difference is
the subscription model.
Yeah,
of
the subscription, the fixed cost of shipping, just that small order every month.
Yeah.
So. A lot of information we just put out your way, but basically, this wasn't an easy decision. This is something that we put so much of ourselves into, like we mentioned, for free, especially in the beginning, and all the team members along the way who've worked so hard every month. It's not a reflection on them or their hard work. It's just, and
even the support we've had from you as a customers in the program, it's honestly just, the numbers aren't working, and we don't want to do something that's not going to be of value to you, and that we're not going to be able to, run our company profitably and continue to grow. So it's a really, really tough leadership call that we've had to make, but we feel like we can serve you in better ways using that time and those resources elsewhere, and we will commit to doing that. I think we've proven over the last 6.5 years now that we are going to continue to innovate. But Ink Drop is just a program that we feel has run its course. So it pains us to say it. This program is older than our daughter, and we have lots of memories tied to this program. But
We're really
It's the end,
thankful
it's
for
the end of an era.
We're thankful for your support over the last 5.5 years in whatever capacity it's been. And, feel free to leave a comment. Let us know what you're thinking, what other things you would like to see us do instead in the future. We're really open to your feedback. We'd love to serve you in the best way we can.
Yeah, we really would. So thank you very much. We appreciate your time, and right on.